Paul, it's going to mean more to you probably than to me. Do you want to choose what might be the most pertinent question there?
So, roughly, how much would the AV used today cost? Well, we've put a lot of whistles and bells in today because we're doing a demonstration and we've backed everything up. And we normally do that for our clients anyway, but we've added quite a few whistles and bells on. Off the top of my head, I couldn't put a figure on it. But what I could say that if you were using a widescreen, something like this, with 2 projectors behind, per day, you're probably looking at about, just for the kit, the lighting and everything, anything between £7,000 to £10,000 with the set, and that's pretty much everything. So we can do this for a very, very good price. But we have added, for instance, you wouldn't use 20K projectors for an audience of this size. We have today because we wanted to present everything in the best light. You'd use 10K projectors or you'd use something smaller, and it would give you, maybe slightly less of a bright image, but it would suit your budget. But we've put all our toys and whistles and bells on it because obviously we're promoting the business. But as I say, it is cost effective, and this whole package you see here we can do, as I say, for around about £7,000, £8,000, £9,000 per day, if that helps.
I think that's quite interesting. The fourth question you said about what about the turnaround time for the building mapping, a question I asked you yesterday, and I was quite surprised at the short turnaround for the Ralph Lauren clip. But the mapping there was about a month, you said, didn't you?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean,
or was that from start to finish?
The creative side, it's a bit like how long's a bit of string when you come to looking at the creative aspects, and certainly on this as well. You can really get into producing some lovely images, and if you want to have lots of modules and you want to spend a lot of money on the software, fine. You don't necessarily need, we've showed examples of that today. You don't necessarily need to do that. Even if you just had your PowerPoint with some nice, bright, high-resolution backgrounds, that will be fine. But if you've got this wide aspect ratio, it's going to look far better than just a felt-covered set with a screen in the middle. Please, can we turn the aircon down?
I did try and shut the door for you, actually, yes, to try and stop you from being in the draft. Sorry about that.
This morning saying it was cold. I haven't been cold, but that's probably going up here under all these lights and doing a presentation, so the adrenaline's going. But I apologise if some of you have been cold. We did, as I say, at lunchtime we did speak to some people to try to ask us to warm it up in here, but I apologise if you're cold. Can you project a 3D image film onto a black drape? Well, yeah, you can. But black is black. It's not very reflective. It's probably the least reflective colour of all. But I probably didn't need to tell you that. You can throw a lot of light at a black drape, and you will see an image. You won't necessarily. You will see a 3D image if you used active glasses, but your contrast ratio is going to be rubbish because your blacks are going to be good, but your whites are going to be rubbish because they're just going to look great unless you throw a lot of light. So yes, you can do it, but I can't. There may be an application where you'd want to do that, and 3D would work as an active. Wouldn't work as polarized, passive, but it would work as active.
What makes a building sort of surface so good to project onto? I mean, is that ideal?
Well, most buildings, unless it's black brick, but most building surfaces are sort of beige or light red and things like that. So, and they're a solid structure, so you can get a lot of reflective light off of them.
But what about the car? We saw the car there as well, the Toyota. Which worked better for you, do you think?
Well, the car works well. It has to be the right colour. Obviously, in that case, I think in that case it was a white car, which is obviously a great projection surface. But buildings lend themselves because they're a light colour, mostly. What would the turnaround time be for building mapping? We've talked about that one. It's I reckon to create the software, you're probably looking at about 2 to 3 weeks from start till finish because you're going to tweak it. In terms of selecting the venue and working stuff out, that can be done pretty quickly, and the mapping can be done pretty quickly. It's the software that's going to take the time to work out. Have you got any interesting building projection products coming up, and can I come and see them? Well, yes, we have actually. If you want to speak to Tim, who's sitting at the back, who's been doing the show calling, Tim Starr is one of our Blitz project managers. We've got something coming up in Hitchin in a few weeks' time where we're projecting on a building, and it's a festival, and I'm sure if anybody wants to pop along, am I talking out of turn here, Tim? Probably am. But I'm sure we can sort something out on some building projection work we've got coming up. When are we likely to see projectors larger than 30K at Blitz? Well, I'm not. We can buy projectors that are 30k now, but it really comes down to client demand. And at the moment, our clients are not asking for 30k projectors that often. So I'm not going to put loads of my available capital expenditure into buying 30k projectors. 20k projectors is perfectly adequate for screens up to 8-9 meters. That's single images. And if you want to do wide screens, then you just double them up and you increase it. So we're not doing much work that's over 9 meters. And if we are 12 meters wider than that, then we double the projectors up. So two 20Ks or 3 20Ks. So 30Ks are used sometimes, but they're not being used frequently enough by our client base for us to go out and invest a lot of money in 30k projectors. I think what we've got at the moment is we've got our projection inventory right. But, we're market-led, and if our clients start asking for 30k projectors, we'll buy them. Can I project on my house? You can do what you like, It's up to you. You project on your house, you project on your house.
Does the red brick make any difference?
We can give you a cheap projector if you want. You should do it. Yeah, you can. Not a problem at all. Just give us a shout and I'll come round. Is there a limit to the number of projectors wide you can go with Watch Out and Encore? There is. Paul Landigan will tell me what it is, because I, to be honest, don't know. But what I do know is it's a big number. And as clients, you'll never get there because it is huge. It's huge. It's something like 32 wide or something like that. It's quite a lot. And we've never been asked to do the limit of what Encore can do in terms of projections. In fact, with the modules, you can just bolt on. You'll probably run out of desk space before you run out of what the modules can do in terms of what you're available to do on the actual control desk itself. But it's a big number, and I would love a client come to me and I'd turn around to them and say, we can't do it because the screen's too wide. But I don't think it's going to happen. But, surprise me. How many pips can I have with Encore? You can have up to, in fact, you get 6. In fact, with the Encore, you get 8 pips. On this particular system, if you're using this system, you can get 8 pip windows. On each, because we've got a processor on each one, so you get 4 pips per processor. So as you go up, as you increase it, you can have more pips. But on this, you can have 8 pips. So 8 separate images up at the same time. Can I do edge blended shows with projectors in portrait mode? Yep, you can. And in fact, we're doing it. We're doing, it's funny, I don't know who asked that. I don't know if it was one of our guys or it was one of you, but it's actually quite fortuitous because I was asked, we're getting involved in a project at the Roundhouse in London. I don't know if many of you, the Roundhouse in London at Chalk Farm. Used to be an engine shed, a turntable, and they've turned it into a really nice space now, and they're doing concerts and events there. But we've been asked by the Roundhouse. They're having an exhibition of artists, and they're having a 56-meter circumference curtain, which is all silicon, 8 meters of silicon pipe, all to create this huge curtain. And we're using 12 projectors all the way around the circumference to create a single 360-degree image of projected artwork all the way around, which is all going to be seamlessly stitched together. And the people who come along to this, it's more of an exhibition. It's going to run for the whole of August. And if any of you are interested in coming down and seeing this, and are in London and would like to see this, just give me a shout, and I'll be able to get you in to see that. But the people who are coming in to view it will be able to walk through these curtains of this curtain of light or projected light through this silicon pipes, and everything's portrait, and we're stitching it all together in a portrait fashion. So it was a long answer, but the answer is yes, we can do that. And is Active 3D suitable for people with epilepsy? It's a good point, actually. The real answer is I don't know. And I probably not. And I say why, because I think that the rate that the glasses are shuttering is really very, very quick indeed. Very quick indeed. You do, if you turn, get a slight perception of it. And I think people with epilepsy, although, I'm not a doctor here, so please don't take this as read. But I haven't heard that there's a problem with 3D glasses for people who've got epilepsy. But, maybe there is, but it's not something that I know. But I do know that the shuttering is at very, very high speed. Very high speed. In fact, it's at the same speed as your television refreshes, the flicker on your television. So if epilepsy is brought on by people watching television, then yes, they can probably bring it on by wearing the glasses, but the speed is exactly the same.